Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let's give our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. And salutations to the sincere Akim and Aqua that may listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Raquai. I'm back in here with another quick lesson. And for today's lesson is I have it on the screen. It is Minimalist Lifestyle. And what really and truly inspired this lesson was it was a quick conversation that I heard from Apostle Elder Gabar, and I don't remember the exact I guess the exact topic of his lesson, but he was going into the in simplest terms, it's the importance and being part of the ministry is you take on that vibration of living a minimalist lifestyle, right? And as a matter of fact, what I want to do, I want to go to the etymology actually, because I know that's a common thing that is heard in the West. Because I normally see like get some different ads, because people are trying to cut down on different distractions and so on and so forth, right? So let's just get the word in the etymology. Min. Okay, this is minimalist in the etymology. And it says a person who advocates moderate reforms or policies. It says practitioner of minimal art. Let's see if we find something that gets a bit more. Let's go to the root word. So smallest, least pertaining to the minimum. Okay. So I guess we can kind of draw off of I guess moderate is something we can actually draw from here, right? So we live a very, I guess a modest, lifestyle, right? We don't live a very extravagant, over the top kind of life, because a lot of our distractions, what the world actually puts forth on our people, is to get caught up in these different distractions, get caught up in these different different pleasures and so on and so forth. And that is a common sentiment that is constantly, even like today, that's pushed in your face in Babylon the Great, in aka America, and it's that's a vibration that's constantly pushed forth, in this place in the West. Get caught up in the women, the clothes. I don't know what song this is, but it says money, hoes, and clothes is all a nigga knows. Excuse my French, right? But that's the vibration that our people constantly get into these things, and it just keeps them in a perpetual state of like, you know, of of lacking peace. As a matter of fact, I didn't have this precept on the list, but let me just get it. Let's see. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. And it reads, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water, right? And our people get caught up into these different lifestyles that actually don't actually nourish them. And and that also includes these different distractions too. Whether our people be caught up in whether it's the Catholic Church, Islam, Buddhism, the how the industry, these different industries, sports and entertainment and music, they push forth an over extravagant lifestyle. And that is the kind of thing that our people fall into a lot of essentially pitfalls, right? And don't know how to navigate when they go into these different industries, because they end up losing themselves and they can't even look at themselves in the mirror because they've forgotten who they were, right? But back really to the topic of a minimalist lifestyle, because our lifestyle becomes a lot more plain, simple, straightforward, because, we have a purpose, we've woken up to who we are as a people, you know. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, and it says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." Right? And this is the whole duty of, an Israelite man, is to do these typical things and follow after the footsteps of Yahushua, right? Because Yahushua was a very, modest, plain person. When he, for example, like when he did, particular miracles, he would, tell people, okay, don't tell anyone. You know what I'm saying? Right? And and that is the sort of thing that, we adopt. We don't have a lifestyle where we have constant fame and people running after us, and we're not very people who speak very eloquent. Paul says it himself in Corinthians, I came to you not with excellency of speech, right, but declaring the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? And this is just a simple breakdown. So I don't want to say breakdown, but this is just a simple outline of how an Israelite man is to conduct himself, so he's aligned with his power, right? And that is a problem that our people don't seem to have understood, because they have aligned with the other philosophies of this world, where they get caught up into these different lifestyles that are not minimal, they're not upright, they're not righteous, they're very over extravagant. I know Jake likes they like nice things, but these things don't bring them peace, and that's something that I heard my elder recently said today, because they don't have any peace in their spirit. Right? And so let's continue. Okay, this is Luke 12, verse 15, and it says, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth," right? And that is something that our people are, a mentality that our people are caught up into, because they think their purpose is to get caught up into these different things and build and get all these different whatever it is that they accumulate in this world, right? The amount of money that they make, this and that and the fourth, they think they can get I guess the word you can say is satisfaction, from embarking on these different endeavors, right? Whether it's through Hollywood, sports, having I guess a corporate job, for example. And our people don't seem to understand the value of actually coming back to knowing who you are, right? And actually having a minimal lifestyle, right? Verse 16. This goes into a parable, but I can just expound on it a little bit. So it says, "And he spake a parable unto them, saying, A ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? Because I have no room where I can bestow my fruits. And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build together, and there I will bestow all my fruits and goods." Verse 19. "And I will say unto my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But the Most High said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul will be cried will be excuse me, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So he that layeth treasure for himself is not rich towards the Most High, right? So you saw the mentality of this man. He was, man, he had needed a new place to bestow all his new fruits and his new goods. It's kind of like somebody today, like a rich Israelite man, today, he has one warehouse and he has a bunch of stock, you know, all laid out in one warehouse. And he's like, okay, my goodness, I want to get another warehouse and I want to set up and I want to put a bunch of more stock in the second warehouse, right? And what happens when you're in that kind of mindset constantly, you're one, there's a scripture in the Apocrypha that talks about the weariness of the flesh, when you're constantly like focused on all these riches. And another thing, even most important, our minds are completely away from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? And that is the good thing and the plus of actually living a minimalist lifestyle, because we don't desire too much of this world, right? Because we see the pitfalls and of our people, especially when they get into a load of money or a load of women or a load of all these different distractions that can distract you and take you away from the Lord, right? Like for example, I guess a good example of that is King Solomon, because when when he was in his older age, he had these women, and the women were taking his mind away from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And then he was building up these high, all these different statues and idols for their gods, right? So they took his, so essentially what happens is his mind was taken away from the Lord, right? And focus on pleasing these women, right? So these are all good things. These are all the downsides of having these over extravagant lifestyles, and that is the pitfalls of what happens to our people when they come into all these different pleasures, so to speak, right? And they're not rich towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? So let's get okay. This is Sirach 39 verse 26, and it reads, "The principal things for the whole use of a man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, and flour of wheat, honey and milk, the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil." And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this out is for our people to understand the principal things, essentially of a man's life, right? And the things that a man needs in particular in to carry on your day to day. Like we always talk about the one thing that the apostle mentioned was daily bread, right? So you have your salary, and these are the simple things, your daily necessities that you need. Like you need water to drink, you need fire to cook your food, you need iron. um that's one thing that personally that's I have to get, because iron is something that I believe you get it from like dark green vegetables, right? Salt, I know salt, like I personally grew up in the Caribbean, and salt was a method of preservation. Like a lot of us, like growing up, we didn't have like an ice box or fridges. So what we used to do, like for example, we would take our fish and we would salt it, and it was a way of preserving our foods, for a lengthy period of time, right? For those of us who didn't have the luxuries of a of having appliances, essentially, right? Jake is not always in the best condition in the Caribbean, right? And wheat, honey, to make your bread. You have your honey, your milk, butter of the grape, oil, and clothing. So raiment, right? So, we have clothing on our backs, and these are the things that we need, but it doesn't mention like, a bunch of women. It doesn't mention like, okay, you need all this alcohol, right? It doesn't mention you need all this, like, whatever Babylon the Great likes to push forth in our media and distract our people, um, to get their minds away from the Lord as far as possible, right? But I wanted to bring this out to actually outline the necessities, and not for our people to know that, okay, these are not things that we overindulge in, right? But there was another principle thing I also wanted to bring out as well. Okay, this is Luke 4 and 1. The point's in 4. Just bear with me on this. And it says, and Yahushua, being full of the Holy Spirit, returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, afterward he hungered. And the devil said unto him, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command this stone that it be made bread. And Yahushua, and this is the point in verse 4, and Yahushua answered him, saying, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? So it's the word is really what our people really need to be able to navigate and pinpoint and get through these pitfalls in these times, right? Because Esau is coming down with great wrath because he knows he has a short time, right? And he's trying to lay out these different snares at the MOTB to try and trap up our people, and he's going to dress it up in a way to make it look convenient for our people to actually understand, and okay, for him to entrap our people, right? So really the word is really what our people need in order to get some serious comfort in these times, right? So I wanted to just outline that, the importance of the word, as well as these basic necessities that we use on our day-to-day, on our weekly basis, you know what I'm saying? But I think that really and truly covers the point. I think I'll get this one last one here. um This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 14, and it says, better it is the poor being sound and strong of constitution, than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than life. Death is better than a life of. Let me read that again. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness, right? And this precept strongly, like verse 14, strongly exemplifies like a lot of our celebrities, because they have all this money, but they're afflicted not just physically in their bodies, but mentally in their minds. Like, for example, I'll give you an example, was Kanye West. When I think it was after the whole anti-Sem situation, he was going through some troubles with his wife Kim, and he wasn't able to see his children. So that is in itself is a form of an affliction, because he doesn't have an understanding of who he is, and to be able to navigate, when you're in particular situation, like particular situations like these, right? And that's where the word does for us. It gives us that comfort, and also it able to actually helps us to navigate throughout these times, right? So this is also just outlining the importance of health, right? And that is something, because our people don't eat very, very well, especially being so close in Babylon the Great, because we have this it's we have a culture that promotes um obesity. It promotes this overindulgence of eating all the time, right? The scriptures talk about be not unsatiable of many meats, right? And it also reminds me of the story of Daniel, and he ate the pulse, he ate the legumes, the seeds, the grains, right? So our people don't eat very well, but if they knew the word and knew about Yahweh Shai and knew about these scriptures, they were able to, you know, make more informed choices, right? But they don't, they're destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's why they're in the position that they're in. But anyways, I'll leave it there. And I had a couple more precepts, but I just wanted to hit this quick point. But hopefully, Yahweh Rataza, as always, this was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Mukakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. The next time I say Shalom.